5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Good evening, everybody. How the devil are we? Welcome along to, now that's what I call transfer news. Hope you're all well. Hi to Scotch in the chat and Wayne. Good evening. How are you, sir?
Evening, mate. I'm very well. Thank the heating's turned up, which then means that I'm get thirsty and I can have a can.
Wow.
It's the circle of life, isn't it?
It is. You're actually coming to us live from Australia at the moment, but you've got the heating up anyway. Well, my weekend wasn't ruined.
No. What a strange... Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? You look for the Leicester fixture, and there's been some interesting ones today.
Well, I was going to say about that, yes, because I think, obviously, the 3 games didn't go ahead, but it didn't actually go against us. It was the few results that worked out well for us. Yeah,
I mean, Coventry, you look at their last 6 games, very interesting.
Yes, yeah, I mean, Birmingham beating them. I mean, and because Birmingham, and this is what I say about the prediction show, is you just can't get it, can you? I mean, Birmingham have been awful the last few weeks, and now they've gone and beaten Coventry. I guess the QPR Sheffield Wednesday one was pretty much expected. No disrespect to them. Rovers and Charlton, well, a win. Both teams needed a win. They got a loss. Bristol City are falling faster than a pair of knickers on a bride's wedding night. I mean, I don't know what's happening to them. Preston are coming back. Derby lost again. Middlesbrough 4, Southampton 0.
Yeah, they are. I think on the day they can beat anybody. It's just they have a few strange results, don't they? I mean, when you think now that Coventry have lost 2 and drawn 2 out of the last 6 games, I mean, we all looked at those and thought, like when we were storming away with the league, you think they're almost untouchable, don't they? And then all of a sudden, they get bumped back down to earth, and it's going to be interesting how they. So 2 losses in a draw in the last 3 games. I mean, that is.
I know. Look, Southampton, like I say, they seem to have turned it around, and the Southampton fan Jack that I know, and I said to him, after they beat us, if you don't make him you're all right. You keep freezing, and you froze then in the most awkward facial position. I thought you're about to give somebody a blowjob.
Well, I've just looked at Southampton's last 6 games, and you think, wow.
Yes. I mean, as he said, as soon as you said give him the job permanently, we have. We started losing again. But that did us a favour. Millwall beating Swansea did us a favour. Stoke doing Norwich did as well. Obviously, Portsmouth, Ipswich was postponed. I mean, look, at the end of the day, those games have to be played. But at the end of the day, we could have dropped down to sort of 17th or below. We're actually still sat in 14th where we were. 37 would take us up to 12 over Derby. and behind QPR should we beat West Brom. Look, West Brom aren't in particularly good good form, are they?
No, Hull and Watford, who were due to play today, don't they? It was postponed. I mean, look at Watford, 4 victories and 2 draws in the last 6. And same as Hull, and it was going to be interesting to see how they got on, but I think that game was postponed, wasn't it? Yeah, postponed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, well, look, we're going to have the... I have to say, first of all, that tomorrow we've got 2 shows coming up. About 1:30, depending on her lunch break, Katie's joining me for the pick and mix, and she will be picking her team. And I actually gave her the chance this week, because we always go 4-2-3-1. And I said, look, is it time to change the formation? Do we need to sort of just for this 1 week go? She said, no, I'm going to stick with 4-2-3-1. I'm going 3-5-2, I think, so we could have a bit of a difference here. Love the optimism. I know, Dworski. It's all we've got. It's all we've got is the optimism.
Well, interestingly, Chris, I watched the Leeds match today, and they went 3-5-2, and JJ was playing on the right as a right wing back. And he's playing really well. Leeds are doing really well at the moment. It seems they found their thing, and the 3-5-2 is definitely working for them.
Well, we just all need Pep to leave as soon as possible. Then we don't feel any obligation to play this stupid formation. We'll see. He probably will go with the 4-2-3-1. And then we've got the watch along tomorrow. The game it's an 8 o'clock kickoff, so it'll be 7 o'clock live here. And if we lose again, I'm sure Wayne. Well, when I have now actually over the weekend, I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, that I have discovered Wayne's political bias, if I shall put it that way. And I think if we lose tomorrow, that Wayne is likely to order the invasion of Poland. I shall say no more. You were lucky it was on the radio show and not on. Right, sir. Shall we dive in?
Let's do it, Chris.
Let's do it. Right. Okay. So the first one, and look, I don't know whether this will happen or not. We actually mentioned this at the end of the. Before I forgot this, before anybody gets excited about this transfer window that's coming up, a year ago, when the January window opened, 2025, I posted this because this is what was being reported. Funds in place, targets lined up, January transfer window, what does Rude need? What did we get? A £2.1 million right back that we only ever saw play once. So what I'm saying is, don't get too excited, everybody. Because 12 months ago we were. Just think how optimistic we were 12 months ago, because Rude hadn't been with us long. He'd won and drawn sort of his first 2 games. Then lost a few, which we kind of said, well, yeah, that's going to happen. God, did we know what was coming?
It was the dark storm clouds were around the corner, weren't they, Chris? My goodness.
Yeah, and every week you would come on and go, look, I'm reading his autobiography, stick with this guy, he knows what he's doing. Right, so, an armchair high window won't concern us. I think it will, actually. I think we're going to see some players leaving, some that we want to, some that we don't, and maybe some loans coming in again. Because, January transfer window, who have we ever bought in January that has actually been brilliant? I mean, Tielemans came in on a loan, and we were able to discover that he was pretty brilliant. I mean, look, if we'd bought Carranza, if we'd bought Tete, I think loans are the way forward, because clubs are going to know we're desperate. Let's be honest with you, it's so bloody obvious. And they're going to say, it's Leicester. Man, I know you can't afford it, but we wanted 5. We're going to ask 7. Do you know what I mean? They're just going to push us that a little bit further. And you know what? A lot of teams do, as soon as they know that we're interested, they go after them.
Yeah, it's different between having Del Boy negotiating or Rodney, isn't it, Chris?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Right, anyway, I've forgotten that was there. Let's move on then. This was reported today. Fatawu to Bournemouth. Now, like I just said, I think we're going to have to get used to these Fatawu rumours for the whole window, aren't we?
We are, and the question I've asked a few is, would you be bothered? Am I bothered if he goes? It's one of those, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, do you remember I asked this at the end of the watch-along, didn't I? On Thursday, whenever it was. God, it was so last year, wasn't it? Or was it this year? I can't remember now.
We've blocked it from our memories, Chris.
From my memories, yeah. And I don't know whether I've still got it written down here. I don't think I have. But I did ask Steve the same question. Would you, if we got an offer in for him, would you say yes? But if you said yes, what would the amount be that you would settle for? Now, you said yes and 30 million. I agreed with you on both counts. I know Tom went, he didn't want to, but look, if it was something like 50 million, we'd take it. Is he all that, as they say?
No, he's not. I think our wingers have really let us down this year. Look, his stats for assists are good, but currently, I think that long-range effort sort of has gone to his head a bit, and he's lost his head. Because even in the last match, he tried to do another one quite similar. And I think he's going for that worldy goal because you get a lot of attention, and human beings will love attention. But like some of the guys that go to the match say, sometimes he just needs to lay it simply inside and keep the attack going. But he'll try and do something major, and the attack will break down. And it was when Fatawu lost the ball that Aluko had to bring the player down, wasn't it? It was from Fatawu losing the ball. Yeah. So I don't think his head's in the right place. And I question whether he can get his head in the right place. So it doesn't matter what people's potential are. It's what their output is, isn't it?
It is. I've said exactly the same for a long time. Is that he has, I mean, and again, this is what annoys me. I don't know why somebody in the hierarchy at Leicester and the coaching side isn't taking him to one side and saying, for fuck's sake, stop doing that. Because yes, he's got a goal in him. We know that. And let's be honest with you, when he comes in and gets it on his left foot, if he gets it in, they're good. But he tries to do it every time. And the number of times I see a player next to him, that if he just passed it to him, he'd be in a great position to score. He takes these top corner efforts, top bins, and he probably gets 1 in 10.
Yeah. And all the better, watch the Arsenal game, and all the better players, they have the sort of cleverness and the awareness of where other people are. And they understand it, like Rice understands and Saka understands it's a team game, and they will lay the ball off, or Odegaard or anybody. And that's the difference between the top players. At that moment in time, they will make the right, not always, but mostly the right decision. Yeah. And I don't think Fatawu has got that. And I think that would be frustrating. If you've ever played football with a guy who maybe scores great goals, but is pretty greedy, they do piss you off sometimes. They do.
No. I agree, definitely. But shouldn't somebody be telling him this? And I suppose the awkward thing is, you don't really want to knock that creativity. How often do we always say, well, we haven't got any creative players because we knock it out of them? But there's times for doing that when you're 5-0 up, or something. When you're fighting in a relegation scrap, which we're going to be once this points thing comes through, it's not the time to be doing it. Because the 1 time out of 10 that it comes off, nice. But what about the other 9?
Yeah, it's been interesting because I do fancy. I've started following a lot more of the stats of players like Rice, why he is such a good player, and what he does in the game, like his passes.
Well, that's thanks to his Uncle Ben, isn't it?
That's what.
That's thanks to his Uncle Ben.
It is, Chris. Hey, love it, Chris. Love it. But that's it. So his output isn't there, and it's whether he can. So I think it was it Kevin said that he needs a stronger manager, and I do think if he went to somewhere like a Bournemouth, that they would demand more of him, really, because it needs to give more as a team player. And that's when you chat to anybody going down, Kate, Steve, Jack from Final Whistle, they all say the same thing, that he does the worldies, but a lot of the basics he doesn't do. And that's what in a team, it's a team game, you are required to be unselfish and play as a team player.
Yeah, and like I say, we accept he's young, and he has got a talent there, but at some point it's an 11-man game. You know what I mean? And when he does that, and I know what somebody just said then about him looking after himself since his injury. He's always done this. It's not just since his injury. Even before his injury, he was always going for that worldie because he wants the headlines. You'll get just as many headlines if you score a hat trick from the penalty spot. It's just I'm getting frustrated. But Steve said that he would take 20 million plus add-ons, which would probably take it up to 30. Sorry, I don't think we've got the luxury of keeping hold of him.
No, and I think he has, for whatever reason, whether it's a manager or because we're in the transition, we are a crap team to play with. It's like Monger. I do think Monger if Monger went to a Premier League club, his career will develop.
So for those of you that are playing LTID TV show bingo, it was 16 minutes and 34 seconds for the first Monger mention.
But I do think some things are best for both parties, and I think Fatawu, I think he has reached his ceiling, because if he can't be professional with his ability, then he will be another player that, like a Colin, or just there's loads of players out there that have fantastic ability, and all the top players, they have the ability, but they work very hard, they stay very humble, they're always working on the mindset, and they're just brilliant. The brilliant team players that have a good career at a high standard. And I think unless Abdul does it, he will probably end up going to a European first division team, because he won't make it in the Premier League.
No, I had a thought last night. I do need to get out more, and I was thinking, like, if he was to go to Manchester City or a Liverpool or even an Aston Villa, one of the top half teams, even a Sunderland, anyone in the top half, he wouldn't be an automatic choice to start. He would have to work for to earn his place. And if he's doing these fancy trick shots when he comes on, they're going to yank him off the pitch. And I'm just wondering whether he started to feel a bit secure in his position and said, well, it doesn't matter what I do. If I score one, it's brilliant. If I don't, they know I can do that. They're never going to take me off. And I've noticed just recently that Mavadidi's been playing 90 minutes and it's Fatawu that Monger's been coming on for.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting. So, like, Semenyo is one of the best midfielders for stats, for chance creations, and developing goals for his team. For Bournemouth, at home especially, are brilliant. It's all Premier League teams, even the big ones, go to Bournemouth and they're in for a right game of it. But it's interesting. So I think he's going to Man City. He won't get straight away inside. He's the first name on the team. He's the most influential player for Bournemouth, but when he goes Man City, completely different. He'll have to fit in, he'll have to be super professional, and that's the thing with Fatawu going to a Premier club. He will need to be more professional than he's behaving now.
Definitely. 2 words of advice to Abdul Fatawu, and those 2 words are Jack and Grealish.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
He's had to bench warm, got a nice little amount in his bank, but he was like an England player and he wasn't a starter for Manchester City. And I do think that's the thing with him. You know, with social media posts and what have you. Would I be sorry if he went? No. Would I be worried about replacing him? Yes, because I don't know whether he is the best of what we've got there. Just at getting down the wing and getting and earning free kicks. But I do think maybe Marty psychologically is saying, you know, you're not safe, mate. Mavadini's playing a bit better. He's staying on. You're coming off, and Monga's coming on for you. And in a way, it improved Mavadini, didn't it? I think he's got better over the last. Although we've not been playing well, but I think he has improved a little bit.
Yeah, I think Mavadini has come back. He definitely tracks back more, most definitely. Whether he's got the overall confidence to beat his men on a regular basis, I don't know. Even in the championship level, but yeah, he definitely came back with a better attitude. And the thing is, all the best teams have a competitive spirit within them. Like you can be really good friends, you can be really good like Band of Brothers teammates, but you know that you are all trying to get in that team of 11. And you accept that. That's what being a professional sports athlete is. You know, you help each other, support each other, but you know you all want to get in that team. And if you've got a team where somebody's basically knows they're going to be on the coach, you know, that won't drop me, that's not a very good environment for getting top performances out of people.
No, you're right. Dworski, hold that thought because we are coming on to strikers next. This was probably the worst kept secret, although with Leicester, until it actually happens, you're never 100% sure. Return to his to Feyenoord, isn't it? Ready to be sold to Mexico. What is it with South Americans, Brazilians, Argentinians? I mean, you know, in fairness, you know, Ujoa was good. Cambiasso, well, look, he could walk on water, couldn't he? You know, but just recently we seem to be getting all the duds, don't we? You know, like all these players, all these South Americans are Duracell battery bunnies, and we're getting the one with Everready or Wilco's own branding.
Yeah, we've not. I mean, what was the lone player last year from Brighton?
Yes. Who had the potential to be good.
He got brilliant ability, but you know why now?
It's Azari or somebody. Cassary or somebody like that, wasn't it?
Jado was from Chelsea, wasn't he? The year in the championship.
Was he, right?
Buonanotte,
that's it. Yeah.
I mean, it was like the Tete. You know, wow, he's brilliant, and then settles down to being quite normal. Yeah.
But then again, when you come into a team like we were last season, how do you be good?
That's very difficult, Chris. That's super difficult. Yeah.
It is. But look, he's gone back, which opens up a place. Now, I'm glad he's gone back. No disrespect to the guy.
You saw it coming, didn't you? Because he was MLS. And you said how many MLS...
Yeah, I keep jokingly and sometimes forget for myself because he is Argentinian, not American. But I'm just, although I got shot down in chat the other day with all the good American players there's been, but there's not been many of them. And I'm thinking of Poku. I mean, you know, he just re-signed for the team that's at the bottom of the fourth tier. And we'll come on to the other guy that was there in a minute. But yeah, I just think, I don't know whether it was a player that Marty wanted. He never started. When you're starting a player that has got one goal in a year and he's starting over you, then A, you're going to have to say, what am I doing here? And then B, when a youngster who's not even a striker, I think he's only got one goal for the under whatever's it is. And when he's starting in your position in front of you, yeah, you might as well be packing your bags ready and go. It was a mistake, but thankfully at least we hadn't got him tied for the year with like Edward.
Yeah, but we think it's like Paul said, Cran's a good footballer, just too lightweight for the English game. But Argentinian, got a load of yellow cards in his career. You're thinking it's going to be like rollerball. He's going to be like smashing people, and he just wasn't. He was getting knocked off the ball. Ayew was stronger on the ball than he was.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to, if you're going to buy players like these, then make sure that you play to their strengths.
Yeah.
Carranza is not a Daka. Daka is on purely because of his speed. That's the only thing he brings to the team. Oh, and 1 goal every 12 months. But I don't know what. Well, we didn't really see him enough, did we, to work out what his strengths were? But yeah, it's a bit like when Iheanacho, when we bought him, we just thought he was awful but he never got any game time, did he? But he's gone back.
No.
Sorry,
someone with ability from Man City, you think he's going to be brilliant, but we dented his confidence, I think, and under the shadow of Jamie Vardy, you get it you get it. It would be difficult for him, and the way he was treated after the cup run as well.
Yeah. I mean, are we taking players that fit the wage bracket, not an ability? Quite possibly. It's what we can afford, not rather than what we want or need, even. I just think, Highfields. I just think he is. Yeah, I'm glad he's gone because we now have a space made available. Do we bring somebody in? I would say at this point, no. Do we play Silko Thomas up there? And we're going to have a very interesting talk because that's who, without giving too much away, somebody has picked for ready for tomorrow's show. I don't think he's the right player to play up front like that. Not one on his own. We need to fucking change the system. So
3-5-2. 3-5-2.
3-4-2. Bloody hell! Who are you having sent off straight away?
3-5-2, Chris. My dentures are not quite in properly.
Or even 4-4-2. I don't care. But this guy, doesn't he look good in Leicester blue?
Imagine him running up the pitch with his locks, having scored a goal.
Yes.
To the away fans, 3,500 away fans in the corner. Love it.
Yeah. I mean, even possibly, he was captain at West Ham. Give him the captain's armband because he'll get more out of the players, I think, than Ricardo will. And look, we don't know if how fit he is. There's rumours that it looks like he's edging towards that. I mean, TalkSport were just saying Michail Antonio's potential move to Leicester City appears to be one step closer following Julian Carranza's January exit. I was only 20. Carranza was 25. I mean, this guy, yes, he's a lot older, but can you imagine? He's not going to have the charisma that as in. Oh God, I'm not going to get the place off Vardy. Let's be honest with you. If Vardy had 2 broken legs, he'd probably have still been picked by Ruud van Nistelrooy.
When he's been a stubborn bugger, he'd still probably score a goal.
He'll go, in fairness, he probably would. So I don't think he's going to have that sort of an impact. But when you look at who our forwards are at the moment, it's Ayew. It's Bobby De Cova-Reid, although we all know he's better in the number 10. It's Daka. Oh God, yeah. Even if it's a pay as you play or whatever, give him the fucking job now. How long are we going to see whether he's fit or not? If he's not going to be fit before the end of the season, get him out. Isn't
there a rumour that he wants being ex-Prem? He wants the money's a sticking point. It probably would be, wouldn't it?
What he wants and what he gets are 2 different things.
Exactly.
I mean, let's be honest. He's not working at the moment. We're not paying him, have we, Dad? He's just keeping fit with us. Now, I think I've applied for many jobs, and years ago when you started to apply for jobs, and you looked in the paper, and it would give you the wage. it would say, this is how much you're going to get for this job. Then it kind of turned into very low basic, unachievable bonuses. Then it went, dependent upon experience. And now it's, we'll tell you what we want if you give you the job. This
now
guy,
sometimes in an interview, literally say, well, how much do you feel you're worth?
yes, yeah. I mean, it's stupid what he wants and what he's got. Look, he's been to a Premier League club at Brentford. He was training with Brentford before us, and they didn't keep him. And Neil says, not as young as Wayne, but better hair. Yes, he has got a bit of a Klingon hairstyle there, though, hasn't he? For any fans of Star Trek, not you, Antonio. It depends, I suppose, on the wage who we get out, and obviously he's got, he's going to have a family and his future to think about, so he'll probably want a proper wage, and he'll probably want that to be quite high. But then you don't come and train at Leicester, who are, beset with PSR and wage problems.
Yeah, and it's good. So you got so if they're sending Carranza back, they've got his wages spare. So then you start thinking, it's like anything, you might say, oh, I've got a bargain here. It's only £10, it's only £10,000 a week. Say if Carranza was on that money. But if you're getting absolutely zero for him, that's £10,000 that's completely wasted. No space is wasted. So if then Antonio says, well, look, I want 35 grand a week, even 40 grand a week on a match by match basis compared to Samare, Dakar, Winks, and some of the other overpaid players, if he gets us 6 goals by the end of the season, that is worth it. So I look at it, what is a play? It's like the wingers. I think the wingers have been woeful this year, and what is their output? Hardly anything. Would Antonio, all the times at West Ham, he played on his own, real hard Premier defenders, kicking him off the ball, knocking him off the ball, played brilliant there, works hard, and I think the fans would love his attitude because he has got a brilliant attitude.
And I think he's going to want to come back and impress.
Yes.
Because
it's his last chance, surely. This is his last.
This is it. And if he doesn't get a permanent position with us on a pay-as-you-play, he'll want to impress another Championship, even possibly a League One club. You can't pay him per goal. I know you're not necessarily saying that, Armchair, but a striker, it's like a goalkeeper's only good as the defence in front of him. The striker's only as good as the people that pass him the ball, and we're not getting the ball into those spaces at the moment, are we? This is how ridiculous football is at the moment. Is 30 grand a week that much?
It's not. How much was Brownhill? So Brownhill, who's gone to China, as you're saying.
He wanted 100,000 a week.
Yeah. The question I've got is, so if you ask this question, it's like, for instance, okay, if Vardy hadn't had the fallout, Rook and everything, allegedly, and Vardy was still here, if Vardy was still up front, would we be top of the playoffs, maybe in the top 3 or 4? I think that's pretty guaranteed. He would have got 5 or 6 goals this season, a lot more than all our other forwards. And if we had Antonio from the beginning of the season, how many goals? He might have got us half a dozen goals. It gave us like a win instead of a draw, 2 draws instead of a win. So, points make prizes. Points make prizes. So I think whatever money was spent, make prizes. But so it's like anything. What you pay is relative to what you get out of it, isn't it? Like you know, with the sales team, if you gave them a bonus, somebody might say, what are you giving them that sort of bonus for? Because the business they bring us in.
Yeah, I never went. You do need some security. And I always considered myself, wasn't the best, but a pretty damn decent salesperson. At my last job, I hit my target every month in 12 months, and some of them didn't even do it 1 month. So I was always pretty sort of proud of sort of what I was selling. But I would never even consider a job that was commission only. Because you have a bad month, a bad week, and you're fucked no matter how good you are. And I actually walked out of an interview in Bournemouth one time. Again, no wages in the job. I think it was on the Indeed or something. No wages on the job. And I sat there and I said, all right, Any questions? Yes. Can you tell me sort of about the remuneration package? Oh, well, you're on a commission only. I said, bye. What? I went, no, I'm past that. I'm not a sort of 15-year-old, 16-year-old kid behind the ears that's coming for his first job. And I don't think you can expect anybody to do that. That's slave labour, really. But he has to prove himself. Now, I don't think he's any worse with what he's got than somebody who's been out with an ACL for nearly a year, which they do, you know.
Well, how many would he have got more goals than Daka and Carranza?
Yes, I think
If he would, then he's worth their wages. Not that you pay that much.
No.
So he's definitely he will probably only want half the wages that Daka's on.
I'd get twice as many goals, hopefully.
Yeah.
To sign or not to sign, for me, it's a big fat yes. To quote Simon Cowell.
Yeah.
Can Antonio get 2 yeses, Wayne?
He can do.
Yes.
I think said if it was 5k per goal, the whole team will be shooting from 60 yards.
I hadn't seen that. That is very true. That is very, very true. But I'd be running on the pitch and trying to get the ball and scoring.
You'd be wagging them out the way, Chris, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Fuck off, James. This is my shot. You know. Yeah, give him a go. I feel says, what have we got to lose? You know, he's not going to be on a contract. He might be only on the contract till the end of the season at most. You know, if he's proved himself on the training pitch, all he's going to do now is go and prove himself on the on you know, in the matches. So yes, I think we should give him a go. Definitely. Now I want to talk to you about young Sammy here. Now, interestingly, because he did a fataroo and scored a goal from beyond the halfway line. Anything you can do, I can do better. Probably wasn't as good as fataroo's, in fairness, but fair play to him for doing it. Look, they were at Newport, him and Apoko. I mean, Apoko will never, I don't think, see the light of day in a Leicester shirt. You know, we signed him, and the first thing we did was loan him out to Leuven. He's been playing in the MLS, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Just, you know, to me, that sums up the standard. Sometimes you get a beauty like, you know, Jamie Vardy from that sort of, you know, standard, but it's, you know, not that often. Now, interestingly, Apoko has been signed for another 6 months till the end of the season by Christian Fuchs. I don't think he scored a lot of goals. I think he's only got 1 or possibly 2.
They're struggling, aren't they?
Yes, yeah, they are as a whole. And I know Mike, well, he's a Man United stroke Newport fan. He did not want Christian Fuchs at all. And he was like, all right about Apoko. He loved this guy to bits. He loved him to bits. But he's now gone to Chesterfield.
Very interesting.
Now, Chesterfield are in 7th, so they're in a playoff slot.
Yeah.
They've won 10, drawn 10, and only lost 5. They're on 40 points. 1 point ahead of Notts County. It's 3 up. Is it 3 up from League 2? I think it is. Or is it?
What's that, Chris?
How many get promoted from League 2?
It's the top 3.
It is the top 3, isn't it? Yeah.
And next 4 in the playoffs.
Yeah. And then you usually got, so they are in the playoff position. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. But the 40 points are only 3 points off 3rd, and Walsall, Bromley are top. Bloody hell. Newport, they're no longer bottom purely on goal difference. Yeah. They've got 17 points, 1 point more than Harrogate Town. 1 point. The same points as Harrogate Town. They're on -19. Harrogate are on -21. But Shrewsbury in 22nd are on 19, as are Crawley in 21st. Bristol Rovers in 20th are on 21. So they're not dead and buried, but they've only won 4 games all season, and they've lost 15.
Yeah, I mean Braybrook. I was watching that game. I think chatting with Tom. He says he's gone to Chesterfield. I switched and I watched it. Watched the match and they're 2-0 down against MK Dons. I said to Tom, "Well, this is like League Two, which is what his FM manager gig is about, isn't it?
Yeah.
In League Two, playing all the young kids."
Yeah.
And he's like, you look at his stats: passing accuracy 90.2, tackles won 100%. He played full 90 minutes, so he is like a young Modric, and he got the horrific injury, like with Alves, that really screwed the trajectory of the careers up because they both were about to break into the first team, and then they've had different loan spells, which some can work. And because that's right, Braybrook was up at Dundee, wasn't it?
And he got injured.
Yeah, stuck on the bench, freezing cold Scotland. He must think, what am I doing here? So the fact that he's gone from Newport now to a team that's really well established and on a good run of form, and they were 2-0 down at MK Dons. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to follow Chesterfield, see how Sammy Braybrook.
Did he come on? Did Braybrook come on?
He played for the full 90, Chris.
Oh, did he? Wow,
Yeah.
do it to the team.
Dead tied. His pass accuracy was in the 90%. Brilliant.
I mean, he did have that really bad injury, as all our players seem to get. Was it an ACL? Might have been. I'm not sure if it was or not. But he was at Dundee. He got injured, and he came back. But I wondered if there was a chance of him coming back to us, and being one of those extra central defensive players. Maybe they just wanted. I mean, what he was getting at Newport, let's be honest with you, it probably wasn't that great an experience for him.
No, I think Dundee. Sometimes you get players and they get an injury. They do a couple of long spells. They don't work out, and it can almost ruin the career. But he's a brilliant player, Chris. He is a brilliant player, Sammy Braybrook. He just needs to. The difference is when I was watching the match, I did say to Jim and Tom, you can see the difference between League Two and the Championship. Definitely, they're a lot more physically strong, a lot more athletic, and the standards higher. So he is a bit lightweight in his physicality, Sammy Braybrook.
Interestingly, then, because I think now they've moved him to Chesterfield because of where they are. And he's going to get more experience playing for a team that's fighting for the playoffs than one. And I'm not no disrespect to Newport, that's fighting for its lives at the bottom and going out of the league altogether. So to me that says, I'm sorry, Apoku, we're probably not going to see you again. But Sammy, get ready for next season. And I think he'll be one of those pools of midfielders that we can call on. Hopefully, I'd love to see him. And I think he's one of those. And look, being on loan and playing well there doesn't always mean you're going to come to Leicester and play well. Or come back to your parent club and play well. It depends on how good the manager is, and that's debatable at the moment. But at
least he's in the club where he's in the mix of we're fighting for this, we're going for this, and they played MK Dons, I think 1 or 2 places above them, 2-0 down, came back to draw 2 each. So he's in a really exciting place with an exciting team that has possibilities, and that's different vibe to Dundee. It's freezing cold up in the north of Scotland in the winter. It's just that was a real bad time for him.
Yeah. In Gießen, bloody hell, you're taking me back there. I don't remember that. Right. So, I think it's a good move for Sammy. I did toy with the idea that he might come back, but I think he'll be back with us next season. And I think that move, if I was a Puku, I'd be thinking, right, let me get my Atlas out. Where am I going next? It might be off to Venezuela. Who knows? They're friends with America, aren't they? Allegedly. Right. So what we're going to do now is, and he got me Radiohead on. Then is go back in time. 3 to depart Leicester. These are the 3 that are most linked with leaving. Winks, Sumare, and Faze. We're doing them one at a time. Winks. Marty's got his number now, hasn't he? You know, he wasn't playing because he was trying to get a break away in the summer. Once the window shut, he went, well, all right, now, you know, if your head's in the right place, you can start again. And it seemed to be. But coming up to the window now, these players are almost like, well, it's certainly Winks, playing badly because they think, you know, that'll help him get a move. And look, I hope he does. And look, last season we were in the Championship. Yeah, he was the buy of the whole league for me. On this one, though, is this season now, and Marty's obviously dropped him and had enough of him. It's whether he decides to just sit sit on the sidelines and just take his money.
Yeah, I do find it quite fascinating, the situation with players that are out of contract at the end of the season. So you could think, oh, is that what they'll do? But then you think, well, although if he does that, he can leave on a free, there might be clubs interested in him now. And he might, so it's a bit of a like, you know, how confident are you in your ability? But I do think so. Under Enzo, that was 2 years. It was 2 years younger. Didn't make it in the Premier League. Wasn't really that influential for us in the Premier League. Fell out with Rude over his attitude, allegedly. And this year, his attitude's been woeful, and he is so turgid and slows the ball that for a while, me and Tom were saying, please, let's try other people besides Winks in midfield. Because Winks and Sumare, you know, would just, like you said, even Sumare looked better when Winks wasn't there.
Yeah.
I mean, they look a right miserable three as well.
Certainly not the three amigos, are they?
Yeah, no. Chevy Chase, yeah, three amigos, remember?
Yeah, Chevy Chase. Yeah, I used to like Winks. And like I say, last time we were in this division, I thought he was, like I said, the best buy of anybody in the league, and I think probably our best player, one of our best players. But his attitude stinks now. And look, you know, you could say that, you know, with Enzo leaving, people say it was Winks that were holding that sign up. You know, who we'll probably never know, but. If he actually says, well, I'm not going to go, I'm going to take me 90 grand a week. 6 months is a long time in football. You can easily be forgotten.
You can, and I think he's an average Championship player. And when you think of all the sides that we've played for, where his pedigree comes from, played for England, he's got to know that he's on the decline. Because if he thinks he's not on the decline physically, and with his speed of thought, it's okay having stats like you circulating the ball or you so many successful passes, but when they're only 3 yards, tappy backs and forth, and they're not penetrating, they're not asking questions of the opposition, and like you chat with it and listen to any people going down to say it is part of the frustrating style that Leicester City play.
I'm going to take you back in time. Do you remember, and he's passed now, so rest in peace, mate, Ray Wilkins?
Yeah.
Do you remember what he was always accused of when he played for England? Of passing the ball sideways. It used to be called, everybody used to call it crab football. He very rarely went forward. And yet, he was an England regular. Yeah, I think it was Man United he played for as well at some point.
Yeah.
QPR, I think we were then a bigger team than they are now. He played for. And his argument was that I'm not losing the ball. Whilst I might be passing it sideways, we are keeping possession. And that player... So it is all about perceptions, isn't it? But look, he's after... It'd be interesting to see whether he gets a pre the crab. Exactly. And we all know about the crabs, don't we, Paul? Not to be scratched about. Yeah, he can talk. He can talk to this Spanish club that's supposed to be after him. I think, outside of England. But then, he's got to think that if I don't take that, or I don't agree to leave now, because they may be only offering him 30 grand a week or something, and he might say, "Well, actually, I'll come to you at the end of the season." But if he's not played for 6 months.
Yeah, it's a gamble. You understand why people run the contract down, because it means they can negotiate a high wage because there's no signing on fee. It's a great bargaining chip, isn't it? But I do think I think his only level is lower grade mid-table championship, or he needs to go to a French, a league in another. He cannot. He's not. He's proven this season in the Championship he can't ever go back to the Premier League. He's not good enough.
No.
And also, I think it's only when JJ was around him and covered him that he looked okay. When he has to put in the work himself to either get the ball back, he is a luxury player, and he takes too much away. So if you've got someone like a Skip, a Winks, a Page, a Ramsey, or could be other players, you don't need a Winks, because they can not only pass the ball, but they can run with the ball, they can do the passing, everything like that, and they can shoot and score goals. So I think his style in amongst the Maresca system is brilliant, because like the fans said, Maresca wants the crab football. He wants the boring football. He wants to keep the ball. Whereas all the better teams, and even the ones like Arsenal, they'll let a team have 60% possession, but then they'll punch them and they'll score 3 goals. So the better managers don't give a shit about possession. They just want to punch and score goals.
I think if he is negotiating with this Spanish club, then it would be worth him to do what Cody did, which was say, right, yeah, I'll come now, and I'll take, Leicester can take the 2 million,
Yeah.
But I mean, Cody tried to go somewhere on a free, and what happened? It didn't work. Samare, he's had enough chances, hasn't he? He's got to go, surely. He's on about 60 grand a week.
Yeah, well, there's these players that are just bang average, and we only think in the very small window of what we think is acceptable, and it is just completely unacceptable. To have one game every 20 games where he plays a decent game, he's lazy. He doesn't track back into the box and stop shooting opportunities. He slows the ball down. He does, literally. If you watch him during the match, he slows the play down. And then
we knew this when we bought him, didn't we?
Well, no, I think him and Daka were touted as the next big thing. So Daka, was he flattered because he was a teammate of Haaland? Probably.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So and Saka and Daka, hey, it's come out of retirement. Did you have to give it a dust down, Christian?
Well, to be honest with you, it might be the last time I get to wear it.
Yeah, especially if Hamza moves on as well.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, I think Samare, even when he had that good game, I think he's had enough chances. He went abroad before, he came back. Again, because you're good in another country doesn't mean that you're going to be good in England. It is a different league. And talking about other leagues, my brother from another mother, them about face. This is pretty itchy. I don't know how about does it, to be honest with you, but it is a wig as well, It's he wants to move anyway, doesn't he? He doesn't want to be here.
Yeah, I think what's interesting with all these players is how much do they want to move? If they've got a chance now, will they take the chance to maybe just keep their career going? Because Wout Faz, he will not, although he got, what did he get, the worst player in the Belgian team, was it? Did he get voted the worst by one of their, something like that, wasn't it? But there's no way, so he's got to move. So that's the interesting thing, he's got to move. So it's like a game of poker, right? So you want to keep your career going, do you? Right, okay, so what we're going to do about it?
World Cup next year.
Yeah.
You know, so and again,
And he can't even get in a side in the Championship that's mid-table and struggling.
no.
Don't put your hair like that, Chris. Stop flirting.
I know. You want to see it's still shorter than the hairs on my legs.
You're like one of the sites I've seen around the clock tower in Leicester about 3 o'clock when you're going for a piss down a side street.
I used to work with a lady, believe it or not, and I'm not going to say where. I'm sure she doesn't watch this. I'm sure she's not even with us any longer because she was about my age when I was just starting there at 16, and she used to wear tights, as everybody, women do, but she never shaved her legs. So all you saw was like this, like back down because she's wearing the tights. Each to their own, I guess. Each to their own. She never complained about being hot.
Character building, Chris.
Sorry, what?
Character building, or is it therapy?
Let's be honest with you. If she was stopped at night by muggers, they'd say, "Oh, carry on." Yeah, in fairness, she was a lovely woman. But no, Faze, look, I think they're talking about a Coley going back. I don't think he will. They've already turned an offer down from him from Cremezo, where Vardy is. I actually am sat here playing with this, running it through my fingers. I sleep with it at night, I can't go there. Let me take it off. It's giving me thoughts I don't want to know. Oh, that's a bit sticky. Anyway, yeah. So we've already turned down an offer for him, so I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's still young, obviously, and there was. No, I did not, Scott. And I think Coley and Nelson are the ones that are going to be playing in our first choice too. I think Vestergaard's got to be kept because we do need a experienced centre back there. And he's back from fitness, and we've got him for another year anyway, and we know that this is his level. But anyway, that's the three that they reckon. Now, there we go. How much money could the Foxes save? I saw this on Football League World, and they were saying Leicester City set for potential triple transfer exit amid financial uncertainty. Now, I don't know if you actually found the story or not, but I was trying to find out exactly how much per week we are paying out in wages. Something like per week, about £370,000 a week, just in wages. 90,000 of those goes to Mr. Wanks. Just think, it was there somewhere, but again, it's not the money we're getting in with Winks. I mean, I'd be tempted to let him go on a free or just a nominal £1 million or something. We're saving we're going to be saving nearly 2-3 million for the half season just on his wages. I mean, that's another player we could bring in, isn't it?
Who's that, Chris?
Winks.
Yeah, I mean, Wout Faz, he's 50 grand a week. I've got it off the internet.
Right, yeah.
2.6 million, like you said, when sometimes, because we're on about, remember before we got rid of JJ and sold the better players of the ones we wanted out, you said, well, it's freeing up so much money. Even if you lost a bit of money, because they're saying sometimes we should have took offers before, but the club held out. But even if you lose 2 or 3 or 5 million, you'll get that back, and you get rid of the crap attitude, don't you?
You do. I've got it here. According to estimated figures from Capology, the Foxes still have the highest wage bill, the second tier, and I got it wrong, with an average weekly figure, or with a weekly figure of, are you ready for this? £840,500 a week.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to get my calculator here.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
How many games have we got? We've played 24 games, haven't we? So we've literally got it's a 46 game season, isn't it? So we've got 23 games. So that's probably, let's say, 20 weeks, because there are some double ones. Times 840,500. I reckon that's about £16 million between now and the end of the season we'll be spending on wages.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
Absolutely. So if we can get rid of, I mean, they're just saying here how much money. If we got rid of those three that that we saw before,
Right, here you go. I've got it, Chris. So Wink's on 90 grand.
Yeah.
A week. Fazzy's on 50 grand a week, and Samari's on 80 grand a week. Yeah, and that is ridiculous for the quality of output that you get. That is just ridiculous. I mean, what's the average wage in the Championship? 20, 30, 40 grand for a tops player?
Probably. I reckon then, because we are going to have some double game weeks, just on those three alone, between now and the end of season, we would, if we got rid of them now, we would be saving 4,400,000. Oh no, hang on.
No more than that, Chris.
No. It was 90.
Jacary's on 3.9 a year.
Oh no, I'm just saying on those three. Just on those. Yeah. So it's 220,000, isn't it?
Basically, Samari's 4.16 million a year.
Times 20 weeks. We are looking at £44 million. Yeah. We'd save just on those three if we didn't.
No, I don't think that's right. Samari's 4 million. Winks is 4.7.
So it was 90, 50 and 80 grand a week.
Yeah, so Winks a year is on 4.7 million. Samari's on 4.6.
Yeah, I'm doing it on a weekly basis. Sorry, because you said the week first. So I've gone to, it's £220,000 a week.
Yeah.
That we are paying those three. I mean, it's ridiculous. And
so basically, you got Faz, Wink, Samari, and Dakar at up to 300,000 a week. And Samari and Dakar, what they've given us in quality is hardly anything.
Yeah, I mean, Dakar will be here till the end of the season, I'm pretty sure. And then he'll go at the end of the season, probably. If he doesn't score a goal and break his neck celebrating. So he will. I think he's going to be here because I know it doesn't bring a lot. But I mean, if we played two up front, you could have him as that extra striker with the speed and what have you that he offers. Him and Antonio, I think, might actually make a fairly decent front two. But I would just, if I was Leicester, if we're going to lose them at the end of the season anyway, why not just put them on the market £1 million each?
Yeah.
And then you've got Koulibaly signing on, transfer fees covered. Just because it's not so much about the money, it's about the wages.
Yeah, and also the atmosphere, Chris. You imagine you've got all these young kids with some, and they're looking at these players on those sorts of money and they must be looking and thinking, you're rubbish. And what a it's like Winks. What a negative environment to have someone like Winks in your squad. Yeah,
totally. And again, though, just in reply to Dworski there, we've not got a poor owner. It's just it can't spend because of the way that the rules are set out. And you talk to any club outside the top six, and they will tell you the same. But look, that's where we stand 3 days into the new window. Knowing Leicester City, we'll probably do something on the 2nd of February at about 13 seconds to midnight or something. It's a bit embarrassing because on transfer deadline day, I'm not here.
Oh, no, not again, Chris, not again.
I was actually originally going to go on the 12th of January. But I thought, just in case, I'll leave it until the end. And I thought presumed it was ending on like the 31st or something. So I booked, I'm off to Lanzarote for a week.
You're going to miss all the drama. We're going to get 6 quality loans in.
I'm sure it will be covered, I'm sure. But I will... Oh, what can I say? What can I say? We probably will. It all happens.
It's a tough life, and how you manage to cope with that level of stress of the flight, the sunshine,
and the drink, and the €2 a pint for beer, and you can get an English breakfast for €4 or €5. I mean, it's a hard life. It's a long. I know it's a long walk from the apartment to the bars. You think it's all easily done? No. And when we get a taxi back at night, it doesn't take us up to the apartment. Oh no, it drops us outside the complex, and we have to walk up a hill.
I was just going to get your violin, Chris.
I thought you might say that somehow. Wayne, thank you very much, sir.
Cheers, mate.
As always, you are a true gentleman. Thank you to everybody that was in the chat. And if you're listening to this on podcast, thank you very much for lending us your ears. Get your thoughts in if you're watching on catch up in the description below. I'm sure we will be back with now that's what I call transfer news show, as and when we actually sack somebody or sell somebody or sign somebody. We will see. Wayne, have a good one, mate. I'll see you tomorrow night when I'm sure we won't be celebrating a win. Hey, Mr. Confidence here. Take care, mate. All the best. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of the evening. We'll see you tomorrow night for the watch along. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network.
TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.